Howdy, everybody. Happy Monday. We are going to be having a little learning. Got to be truthful, though. It's actually Saturday for me, and I have just been having a really long day of work. My job has not been inside the camper. It's actually been outside doing some weeding and a lot of different work outside, kind of making things kind of try to clean stuff up. But my husband's been busy on the inside, and so he's been putting up some paneling. I don't know if you remember from last week, that was wide open. So getting everything cut, everything fit, making sure things are good. But I also want to point out some interesting things. This is actually our bathroom, even though you can't quite tell, other than maybe the drain pipe here. And we'll talk about drainage another day. So we're going to talk about foundation today. What's foundation mean? Well, in the camper, I need to make sure that I got walls. So you can kind of see here, right here where I'm kind of pointing to, these are some of the little itty bitty wood sticks. I don't even want to call them 2x4s because in a camper, they're not 2x4s. But you can see on the outside, that's the wall that's being held up on the outside. And right next to it is the little wood. And on the inside, I don't know if you can see it, there's going to be insulation. And then we're going to have the actual internal wall. Why is that such a big deal? Well, it's kind of like the foundation of the body. So I'm not going to be able to do much with a camper, and we're not going to be able to do anything more until we get the walls up. Well, beforehand, we needed to make sure that the walls were ready, the walls were actually solid, and everything was in its right proper place. So wiring needed to be evaluated. We needed to evaluate the quality of the wood that was up, replace that stuff that was not good, replace all of the paneling that's on the walls because that wasn't any good. We've actually even replaced the flooring in here too because that wasn't good. All of that had water damage. And so we were able to figure out that we actually had a leak. Fun thing, there was a wall here, but we had a leak. And it was due to the fact that the shower was leaking. Again, fun stuff that you learn when you dive deep and you try to figure out what the root cause is. So we had some mouse damage, like I had mentioned, but we also had some mold that we found when we were kind of doing some investigation. So can't have any of that. Why is this a big deal? Well, I really want to get to the root cause of what's going on in a body. And in order to do that, we sometimes have to go to the foundation and we need to clean things up and we need to make sure that we've got the right proper building before we start doing anything else. And so why that's important is, for me, I want to make sure that the body has cell energy. And what does that mean? Well, I want to make sure that your mitochondria are functioning. And mitochondria, if you don't know, there are these really cool little power sources inside your cells. Every single cell has them. Some have more than others. But what they do is they take, just very basically, they take the energy from the food, hopefully food that you're eating that's good for you, and they take oxygen as well. And they do really cool things with this really amazing thing called the Krebs cycle, and you have energy in your cells. Why is that important? Because what I find is a lot of people in evaluation, they just don't have a lot of great energy in their cells. They're tired and things are just kind of not ready to get up and start healing. So for me, it's super important to get the cells healing. Do you need specific nutrients in order to help with that? You know, that's part of the evaluation that we do, because I can't really help a body get on a really great path to healing unless we've got the really good building blocks. So part of that is supplementation. Again, figuring out the very specific supplementation that your body needs as opposed to my body, right? We're all different. Everybody is unique in what they bring and what they have going on. So it's really important to make sure that we customize that to get that right. But the next foundation is, what are we eating? And I've got to be honest, we got to eat food. There is nothing that's going to be more important for you to get really basic foundation as far as what's going in, right? Good quality protein, amazing healthy fats, and carbohydrates that aren't just noodles and bread. I'm thinking about plants. I want vegetables. I want fruits. I want really good phytonutrients that go in and are literally the building block and the most amazing thing that your body can utilize in order to get that fuel to the cell so your mitochondria can make the energy. So foundation, super important in my camper as well as your body. So next week, we'll dive in a little bit deeper. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about drainage. Since we've got this cool drainage pipe here, we'll dig into that. See you guys later.